Hi guys, this is GSMDome.com and I'm here with a handset that's known as the Allview P8 Energy Mini, and this model is the Romanian locally integrated version of the Gionee Marathon M5 Mini, sort of a more compact battery phone if there is such a thing because of the high capacity battery inside the device. It was launched in February 2016, I'm talking about the Gionee Marathon M5 Mini, and keep in mind we have already reviewed the Marathon M5, so this is the smaller version of that handset. It's one of the few, if not the only, non-phablet battery phones. It's just a phone, a 5-inch phone for that matter. It's priced at around $200 or even less at some retailers, and now it's time to talk about the design. So if you're talking about the Allview brand, this is their first phone that has 2.5D glass panel at the front, this panel right here. It's a nice piece of work. As you can see, it looks very nice, premium. The phone comes in grey, white or gold, and it measures 8.9mm in thickness and weighs 200 grams, quite hefty for a 5-incher. Meanwhile, the P8 Energy was slimmer at 8.5mm and just a bit heavier at 212 grams. I must say that this handset has a phablet weight and feels a bit heavy in the user's hand. It's still solidly built. The back cover comes off pretty easily, which is nice, it's easy to remove, and we got plastic here at the back, and the frame feels like it's made of metal, but it may not. Anyway, it feels pretty solid, and in the end we may have a metal frame here keeping everything together. Since it's a 5-inch phone, everything is very easy to use with a single hand. We can reach all the areas of the screen with a single finger, and the grip is quite good. So comfy phone, excellent facade, excellent look here, not much to be disappointed about. Now, as far as the hardware is concerned, this handset provides a 5-inch 2.5D on-cell display. It's a screen with full lamination technology, and this 5-incher offers a resolution of 1280 over 720 pixels. It's got Dragon Trail glass protection and these big black bezels that, frankly speaking, do not flatter it at all. If you want to see how the screen can handle video playback, well, let's check that out. And here we go. Time for the video playback test. So this video player is the pre-installed one, offers a pop-up play style feature and DTS sound. Now, as far as the screen goes, you can see that the black borders are quite annoying. We got a pretty bright screen, also pretty crisp, with vivid colors. The contrast is, I would say, medium, and view angles are, let's say, good horizontally, but vertically not so much. So horizontally good, vertically not so much. And as I said before, the screen is reasonably bright, but we can also tweak some of the settings associated to the screen. You got adaptive brightness, economical backlight, font size, sleep, daydream and alert, missed call and unread message. So overall an okay display for a phone priced around $200. Now, as far as the CPU is concerned, we're dealing here with a quad-core Cortex A7 unit at 1.3 GHz. It's actually the MediaTek MT6580, launched in mid-2015 with a GPU that's the Mali 400MP. We also have 2 GB of RAM on board and 16 GB of storage, as well as a microSD card slot with support for up to 128 GB extra. The phone does not suffer from lag, has okay performance and runs games like Riptide GP2 or Beach Buggy Blitz without a problem. These are benchmark games from Vector Unit with high-end graphics, and since they don't choke and they look nice, I'd say the performance in gaming is quite reasonable. And if you're wondering about the benchmark, well, they're pretty mediocre. Of course, this was to be expected from a handset that costs around $200. But once again, when it comes to games, the graphics look okay, control is fine, and we had no problem with the game Riptide GP2 or Beach Buggy Blitz. As you can see, excellent water effects, nice lighting, good physics and all that. No lag, no choke, no crash. So let's also check out the water. Okay, you get the gist of it, and I said before, benchmarks were pretty much on par with lower priced phones. You can see some examples here. So this handset performs around the same as the LG AKA, Coolpad Modena and the Utok Q5 GT, for example. It's perfectly fit for the $200 area. Now something that's really good here, well, the temperature. After playing the game Riptide GP2 for 15 minutes, we got up to 33.1 degrees Celsius, which is excellent and means there's no overheating here. Now if you want to talk about the speakers, we got a back speaker right here, and the equalizer is quite generous within the standard music app. So music, then we go to more, equalizer, and we got these DTS related options and also effects volume with several genre presets, and this extra equalizer with 5 channels. As I said before, we've seen this on other Allview models and it's quite generous. Now let's listen to the actual tune and see how we can handle it. So conclusions, okay volume, I would say even quite good bass, all the notes are heard okay, and the muffling happens here on a flat surface, but it's not exactly huge. And we also use the decibel meter to measure the performance of the speaker, and we got up to 83.6 decibels at the back, and at the front we got to 79.8 decibels, so about 4 decibels difference between the front and the back. I'd say it's a good thing we can beat the HTC One A9 and the iPhone 6s, so acoustics are quite good here. We also have FM radio, and we have a quick glance at the headphones. If you recently saw our review of another Gionee or Allview handset, you know what to expect. They're small, they're comfy, they have a tangling wire, they have a remote that's quite big and doesn't have volume buttons. Other than that, the volume is okay, could be louder, and the bass is so-so, nothing more than that. Put the headphones here, time to talk about the camera. Not much to say when it comes to specifics. 8 megapixel shooter here with LED flash and autofocus, slightly protruding, and 5 megapixel shooter for the selfies. Now, this is a $200 phone, and still, the camera app starts reasonably fast. And the interface is typical for a Gionee or Allview device. We got these modes: filter, pic note, face beauty, panorama and HDR. Obviously the settings related to picture size and capture mode, and when you get to the video area you'll find yourself setting up the resolution up to full HD. Other than that, I would have to say we're getting here an okay focus speed as well as a pretty okay capture speed considering the price tag. Now we can skip straight to the gallery and see how the camera actually behaves, and boy was I surprised to see how it behaves. It's an 8 megapixel camera and I wasn't expecting to get anything good, but guess what? Everything looks excellent. You can only see nowadays good 8 megapixel cameras on iPhones, but this model also gets a pretty good one. Now, things to notice here, well, we got great colors and exposure. The sky looks great, which is something not all phones can say nowadays. Excellent textures in monuments and flowers captured. The panorama is okay, but has a modest resolution. The strange thing is that we didn't have many blurry shots, not many at all, which is something that's usually associated to flagships. This is an HDR sample, this one looks okay, but we also have one that's too washed out. So, the selfies also came out okay on a very windy day and a very sunny day, once again a compliment to this handset's camera. Close-ups didn't work exactly fine on this handset, we had to try a lot of them till we got one right, and we still managed to get one or two right once again after many attempts. So blurred again and again, and at last we got this result, which looks fantastic if you're patient enough to focus okay. So even if the focus wasn't fine at first, when you get the gist of it, you will get some excellent clarity and very nice shots for a minimal 8 megapixel camera. Sometimes I felt that this camera was on par with my very own iPhone 5. And exposure and white balance are also excellent, and even if you zoom in, quality still remains good. Now video was another surprise. Usually this kind of phone films in 3GPP format and the videos look poor. We filmed in MP4 Full HD 30 frames per second, and It was a windy day, still we didn't have huge problems with the wind. Bitrate was quite good, 24 mega per second. The first clip was rather burnt, had poor stabilization, but the clarity and colors were okay. All the clips were shaky, however the clarity and quality remained a constant of all those videos. Keep in mind, this is a $200 or less handset, which makes the camera all the more impressive. So overall, I'd put this on par with my own iPhone 5, which is quite a compliment for this phone, and I'd even say it beats some phones out there, like for example the Galaxy S4 that I've been playing it every once in a while, and I feel this is a bit superior in some areas, so very nice for this price. Now the web browser, I mean the pre-installed one, let's go to GSMDome.com. I have to say that the speed is quite okay. Got a comfy stock keyboard here, and sadly the benchmark results related to the browser are quite poor. Now in the connectivity section, you have to know that this is a dual SIM handset with micro SIMs, HD voice. It does not offer 4G LTE support, it's only HSDPA tops with 21 mega per second download. There's Bluetooth 4.0, Wi-Fi 802.11 with a top download speed of 24 mega per second as we measured. We got speed dial, we got Wi-Fi direct, micro USB 2.0, and we had an okay signal and okay call clarity, although calls could be a bit louder. Time to talk about the battery. And here, this is a battery phone, as I said before. It's a more compact battery phone because it's simply not a phablet. It has a lithium-ion 4000 mAh unit. On paper should provide us with 400 hours of standby. It should also provide us with up to 1500 minutes of talk time, and in our test, our HD video playback test, we only got up to 8 hours and 23 minutes of video playback. Frankly speaking, I expected more, especially considering we're below the Sony Xperia E4G, which is not a battery phone but rather an entry-level model. We also did a PC Mark test, and this one came out better, 8 hours and 42 minutes. We beat the Galaxy Note 5 but scored below the Huawei Mate 8. Still, we managed a pretty good result. This is the continuous simulation of work time, let's say. Now the charging for this let's say battery phone, more compact battery phone, well, it takes 2 hours and 58 minutes. Let's call it okay, considering you still get almost 9 hours of work. Of course, battery saving features are included: power management, standby intelligent power saving, power manager here with normal power saving and extreme power saving mode that goes black and white, and extra options like smart power saving at night and memory cleanup. Overall, the battery feels a bit underwhelming on the video playback area, but in the continuous usage it fares more okay than that. Okay, so the Gionee Marathon M5 Mini runs, let's see which Android 5.1 Lollipop. It doesn't change very much, pretty much stock with a few modifications here and there. For one thing, we have very nice looking widgets, which can be seen here, especially those related to the weather. We got other widgets here. We got the carousel multitasking as usual, and then if we swipe down we have notifications. If we swipe up we have the quick settings, this one is here, brightness slider, and 4 shortcuts towards apps. If we go to the settings area, nothing fancy: connectivity option, date and time, sound, notification, display, security, and then there are the advanced settings where you can find the smart gestures, like this ones here: smart vibration, dual tap, wake, suspend option, which is a floating widget, and we've seen all of them before on other devices. Now if you want to talk about apps, we counted them. There are 45 apps pre-installed, almost bloatware but not quite there, so it's pretty reasonable, I'd say. Apps to remember: Bitdefender Mobile Security, we got Chameleon and System Manager that may come in handy. Now it's time for the verdict related to the Gionee Marathon M5 Mini, locally integrated in Romania as the Allview P8 Energy Mini. So on the pro side, it's a nice looking phone with this beautiful glass surface at the front, and it has a solid design. The screen is quite okay, at least as far as the brightness goes. We got good performance, okay acoustics. The picture quality was a surprise for an 8 megapixel camera, very nice selfies as well, and the video capture was so-so but still quite good, on the good side, and the PC Mark battery result was also good. Now on the con side, we expected more video playback time, and there's a bit of bloatware on board. and also it's a very heavy phone for a 5-incher. The screen contrast is a bit disappointing and the video capture feels a bit burnt. There's no 4G LTE and the black screen edges are a bit of a bummer. Overall, I wouldn't call this a battery phone, but rather a pleasant surprise in the mid-range towards entry-level area. It's just a good mid-range phone with a nice camera, a powerful battery, a nice facade design, and it's great for the price tag of $200. Once again, Gionee Marathon M5 Mini, integrated locally as the Allview P8 Energy Mini and a solid $200 handset. Don't call it a battery phone, call it a good phone with a good battery. This is it from GSMDome.com. Bye bye.